Boy, I can keep you awake with this one over here, I guess. Got to put on my microphone this morning. It's a pleasure to see all of you here this morning, and I know we've got some visitors with us this morning. I invite them to fill out one of those brightly colored cards in the pew rack in front of you and give it to Chip or to me on your way out of church this morning. That'll give us a chance to get to know each other a little better. Lots of things coming up, and in particular, this Saturday is going to be the Big Band Dance at 7 p.m. up in the social hall. As most of you know, that we have a big band group that rehearses here once each week, and they make marvelous music, and I hope you'll come to listen. And as a special treat, Jill Bruss is going to be singing with them. Wonderful refreshments, so please sign up on your way out of church this morning. I also would like to invite you to the 2018 Lenten gatherings. We have 3 more of them. The demographic of those who attended on Wednesday was a little different than we anticipated, and so we're going to gear it a little bit more towards the adults, and as we examine some of the parables. This week, Barry will be leading it on the wheat and the tares. Also very important, Saturday, March 17th in the morning, we will be gathering all those who are serving or have served on boards and committees during the last year or in the year ahead for a leadership retreat, and that will take place again at 8 o'clock. We'll begin with some breakfast items and then go into our discussions for the day. We have a schedule for Holy Week that's in there. There's an announcement about upcoming 4 o'clock concert, so I hope that you will take your green sheet home and put these things on your calendar. Let us continue now with our service of worship. Please join with me in our call to worship. May your love and mercy be upon us today, O Lord. Let your joy and gladness dawn in our spirits. And the recreating power of the Holy Spirit make us new. Have mercy on us, O God. And let your Spirit lead us into truth and righteousness. We invite you to stand if you are able and sing together hymn 379, There is a Balm in Gilead. I invite you to join with me in the prayer of invocation, which you'll find in your order of worship. Loving God, we thank you for the gifts of this season of Lent, for the opportunity to slow down and meditate upon your word. As we openly accept your invitation to examine our hearts, we ask for your grace and mercy, that we might bring you praise. Teach us to put our trust in you alone, and not in ourselves or the things of this world, that you might be glorified through our thoughts and actions, through our words and deeds. As evil perpetually unfolds in the world around us, we ask for your loving protection and abiding comfort. Let us worship you in the good times as well as the bad, and in all things let us be truthful to you, from the very recesses of our hearts, with the full knowledge that you hear our words and will always respond in loving kindness. Amen.
I would invite the children to come on up. Cool. Now, how many of you play a sport? Raise your hand nice and high. Great. Well, today I'm not dressed in my usual Sunday clothes, which I'm not going to lie is kind of nice. And I also have this ball with me as just kind of the object of the day because I've been playing basketball since I was probably about Eddie's age and Maya's age or so. And it's been a really important part of my life. And the school I teach at, St. Monica, they invited me in 5th grade. Actually, they schnookered me, and those of you who know me know that I don't know how to say no. So I've been coaching this girls since they were awkward, silly 5th graders, and today they are playing the biggest game of their young careers at a tournament called the Padre Serra Tournament, and it's out at Mount Mary, which is cool because it's about 7 minutes away or so. And it's like the NCAA tournament for 8th grade boys and girls here in the Milwaukee area who go to Catholic schools. So our game is at noon, and so I need to get there early, so I appreciate Laura Herrick is up working with the PFers, and Bill gave me the A-OK to be ready to go. But when I talk to the girls today, we don't talk a lot about winning and losing, but do you think that's important when you play a sport? What do you think, Caleb?
No.
What's more important? No. What's more important, Caleb?
To have fun.
To have fun, absolutely. What else? What else?
Get to know your teammates.
Oh, teammates are the best. And you learn life's lessons right next to your teammates. What else? What do you got, Brooke?
Getting to learn a new sport.
Getting to learn a new sport, absolutely, and all the skills that go with it. Okay, great. What else? Yeah, Eddie?
Getting good sportsmanship.
Good sportsmanship, and in the Archdiocese, they talk a lot about that, okay? Being a good opponent, being a good teammate, and asking parents to be good parents. Keep their mouths. What else, Maya?
Being there for your team.
Being there for your team. We're like a mini family. And like I say, I've been with these girls for 4 years, and for me, they're kind of like my kids. But with each other, they're like sisters. And that's kind of important, absolutely. We're missing the most important thing, I think, that we can do in sports instead of focusing on the winning and losing. Doing your best. Very good. You know, if my girls go on the court and try their best and have fun and are great teammates and play their sport that they've learned to the best of their ability, I can't be sad. They're not a winner or a loser today. They're still a great team and a great person. And that same thing is true with God. If we serve others and we're good to others, we take care of people, that's what Jesus did when he was here on earth, okay? And Jesus wasn't a winner or a loser. He always did what was right. So I hope that this week, no matter what you do, You're a winner by just being good to others. You can be a winner as a Christian, but don't let that define you when you play a game. So, anyway, that's good. Wish me luck, because for some reason, I'm nervous in all these years of coaching. But no matter what happens, the girls are going to be great. And I know no matter what happens with you guys, you all have the right attitude, those of you who play sports, which is almost all of you. And remember, doing your best is what it's all about. Cool? Let's pray and let's go to Sunday school. Yeah, awesome. If we could all bow our heads, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
All I could hear in my own head was that these kids didn't know Vince Lombardi. We have an extra lesson that's not in your order of worship this morning, but if you'd like to follow along, it is on page 282. It is from the book of 2 Samuel, the 12th chapter, and I'll be reading the first 14 verses. And the Lord sent Nathan to David. He came to him and said to him, "There were two men in a certain city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had very many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing but one little ewe lamb, which he had bought. He brought it up, and it grew up with him and with his children. It used to eat of his meager fare and drink from his cup and lie in his bosom, and it was like a daughter to him. Now there came a traveler to the rich man, and he was loath to take one of his own flock or herd to prepare for the wayfarer who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared that for the guest who had come to him. Then David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. He said to Nathan, "As the Lord lives, the man who has done this deserves to die. He shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity." Nathan said to David, "You are the man. Why have you despised the word of the Lord, to do what is evil in his sight? You have struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and you have taken his wife to be your wife, and have killed him with the sword of the Ammonites. I have sinned against the Lord," Nathan said to David. "Now the Lord has put away your sin. You shall not die. Nevertheless, because by this deed you have utterly scorned the Lord, the child that is born to you shall die." Our second lesson this morning is the text of Psalm 51. "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love. According to your abundant mercy, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you alone, have I sinned, and done what is evil in your sight, so that you are justified in your sentence and blameless when you pass judgment. Indeed, I was born guilty, a sinner when my mother conceived me. You desire truth in the inward being, Therefore teach me wisdom in my secret heart. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and put a new and right spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and sustain in me a willing spirit. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, and sinners will return to you. Deliver me from bloodshed, O God of my salvation, and my tongue will sing aloud of your deliverance. O Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. For you have no delight in sacrifice. If I were to give a burnt offering, you would not be pleased. The sacrifice acceptable to God is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. Do good to Zion in your good pleasure. Rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in right sacrifices, in burnt offerings and whole burnt offerings. Then bulls will be offered on your altar. Thus ends our lessons for this morning. May God add his blessing to these readings and to our understanding.
But what a treat to have the women's choir singing today. It's beautiful, beautiful. So being a single guy, I realized last year that I needed to hire a house cleaner. A good friend of mine, Marie, runs housekeeping at the local hotel and connected me with a good friend of hers, Sandy. Well, Sandy comes by once every 2 weeks. She cleans, she vacuums, wipes down the countertops, makes the bed. But before it became routine, I met with Sandy and walked through the apartment. She noted all the dust bunnies, the dirty stove and oven, the hard water stains in the shower. And she made it clear that the first thing she needed to do was a deep clean. So I gave her the keys to my place and arranged for her to start the next day. When I came home after that first deep clean, I felt like I had a whole new place. Not that my place was filthy, but I also couldn't tell you the last time I'd wiped the dust off the top of the ceiling fan. I walked through the living room and bathroom, the kitchen, bedroom. Everything